The aisles were cleared. New England was in full-on snowstorm mode. While everyone else was in snowstorm mode, we were letting our cats frolic in the snow and packing our shorts for vacation. Now, we were responsible. We did order a snowblower for the impending storm. That was supposed to be arriving Saturday before the snowstorm arrived Sunday, and we left Monday. It arrived 2 weeks later. We tried to keep up with it. We dug ourselves out 4 times on Sunday. While we were at it, we realized that if the plows kick snow into your exhaust pipe on your combi boiler, turns out you will get a code and your heat will just turn off. So we had to research that, clear that out, and get that system back up and going, which we thought was okay before we left. Foreshadowing. Monday morning, one more dig out. We beat the plow 5-2, so plow came twice. We dug out 5 separate times. We ended up leaving 2 hours late. Our biggest concern at this point, since our dead-end road was nice and clear, was the escape rooms that we had booked later that evening. Normally, you need 24 hours in advance to exchange your booking, and every escape room that we've been to that we've had to change a date has always been very pleasant about it. They had already posted that they were closed the previous day and they weren't sure if they would be open, so we just headed down and hoped for the best. Just about noontime, they gave us a call and they let us know that they were closed because of the weather conditions, so they gave us a nice refund. One thing went right, everything else, not so much. So we found out as we were driving that Allie's new work laptop is a small spaceship. The charger, or car charger that we had, was not prepared. We stopped into an auto parts store and we got a new one. I didn't read it right, so we broke the plug and probably the port in the car itself. So we ended up just starting the unplanned Panera era. Plug in, hang out for a while, have a snack. Moving forward through our travels, we weren't in a rush anymore to get to an escape room, so we were taking our time. Maryland through Virginia, they were still a mess everywhere from the storm. All their highways were clear, but the second you got off the highway, they're plows. By the time we got to our hotel in Richmond, it looked like their parking lot was auditioning for the Olympics. It was an ice skating rink. So that night, my sister was supposed to come up and take care of the cats. One of the cats has 2 medications that he is on, and she was struggling just getting out of work, so she couldn't come. So we had our neighbors in this duplex try and come over and get in, and our electronic lock has decided that this is the time to fail. Not any day sooner than this when we were home, but right now is the time for it to fail. So we had her try multiple different codes. None of them were working. We were just in a pinch, gave them extra dry food from afar. They just didn't get their wet food, and unfortunately Julian missed his meds that night.
It was this first night that we realized in our hustle and bustle to pack all of our theme outfits and other clothes, we completely forgot our pajamas.
Day 2 on the road. We left bright and early, right on time.
At our first unplanned stop, saw this really cool windmill with a bunch of moving parts, and if you needed Yoo-Hoo or Red Bull, you were all set here.
Our first stop was Buc-ee's for some lunch and a pit stop. I love Buc-ee's. We don't have any super close to us. So right around the time when we were getting into the Buc-ee's area, our pet sitter started coming to the house to try and get in. We were hoping that maybe our neighbor just didn't know the nuances of our lock, and our pet sitter has been here before and dealt with it. And of course, our pet sitter also could not get in. Had pet sitter leave for the time being, and I'm desperately calling around to locksmiths from this area. I am 8 states away at this point. Some of them didn't want to deal with it for liability's sake. Some of them were just busy at this point. They weren't able to get there. I'm inside of Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is kind of chaotic. If you haven't been there in the middle of the day, it's very noisy. So I'm in here, waiting for the call of fresh brisket on the board, and I'm calling my dad. This is the only picture I got at Buc-ee's. I totally forgot to take any sort of pictures or videos. I was just in such like a crazy headspace at that point, trying to make all these phone calls. Allie's actually got her recurring therapy call happening. She's in the car, and that's why I'm trying to make the phone calls inside of Buc-ee's, because it's colder than we expected outside, so we didn't pack appropriately for the way to and from. She did end up hanging up early, and I felt bad for that because of all the chaos breaking loose all at once. We got that squared away and moved on, and we got Allie giving the one because we wanted to get a picture with what number Buc-ee's it was along the trip. I got a hold of my dad and with my stepmom and their dog in tow, along with some help from our neighbors in the duplex. My dad got everyone in the house. Our friends checked the batteries in our door, and my dad ended up completely removing and replacing our locks while we were gone. So the electronic lock just completely died. Now, knowing that the heat had triggered off the other day, I asked my stepmom to check the temperature while she was here. Naturally, it was off. The house was in the 40s. So we tried having our neighbor help go downstairs and get the thing to turn on. It just wasn't turning on. We called in the HVAC company to come get our system going on again. And turns out there was just a switch flipped that we didn't know was flipped because we were 8 states away. It was a very expensive flip of a switch for them to come back. I'm not sure that that's actually what was wrong. I think it might have been the snow thing happening again, and then the snow might have melted by the time that they got there for the code to be cleared, and the switch thing just happened to happen at the same time. Either way, heat went back on. All good the rest of the time on the heat. Thank goodness. Once those locks were changed, all good the rest of the time on the locks. We scheduled another Panera stop in our unplanned Panera era for a snack a little bit later on and some charging again. We went to a Walmart not far off our route to check for this big charging pack that we thought we'd be able to charge overnight to have for the next day. Wouldn't be able to charge us while we were going, but would provide a whole nother battery life. The website was vague if it was in stock, and guess what? It was not in stock. So after we went to that Walmart, we did our escape room down in Savannah. I don't have too much to say about this escape room. The escape room was a decent theme. Hadn't really done one of this theme before, but sometimes a game master can make or break your game. And unfortunately, the game master broke the game here. Not really going to go into detail. I will go into detail on other episodes later on if you want to know what I mean by the game master broke the game. After the escape room, we were faced with the decision of, do we go back and get a little bit more sleep, or do we try to go to another Walmart that's 30 minutes this way to see if they have that big power pack. Once again, the website is vague on if it is there. At the first one, we saw the spot on the wall where it would be, so we had hope. We went to this Walmart and it was not there, so we had a little bit less time on our hands. But at this Walmart, I did remember to pick up some pajamas, and here is where I start channeling Carol Baskin for the trip. We finally made it back to our room for the night, just a simple hotel room, had these cute little alcoves in it. And thankfully, we just kept calm through all of the shenanigans, as calm as could be, and just kept rolling with the punches because we were not going back to Rhode Island at this point. I just wanted to share all of the parts of this vacation because sometimes it's like jumping through hoops to, make it through the day. Sometimes things go awry and it's not all the grass is greener, and I'm here to show all of that. On the next episode, we will discuss going to 3 Buc-ee's in one day and 5 Buc-ee's on one trip overall, and impressions from these Buc-ee's visits. Are they all the same? You'll see. Please like and subscribe. Bye!